Hey guys, real Randy Chavez here. I'm now doing two videos a day because F my life. I'm just going to, the first one is Pokemon, and if you're here for that, that's not what this video is about. This particular video is going to be about stocks, a little history about what I've been doing with them, and I bought some years ago. They were just for, I bought stocks that I thought I would like or want, and it was just, I bought Nintendo, and because I love Nintendo. And I bought it when I was at like $13. I was like, I know, great buy, right? And then it went up to like $18. It was like, sell. And then and this was like in 2014 or 20 something like that. And then like a week later, it went up to like 28, and I was like, I was crying. Basically, over the years, I had learned that all right, if you buy and hold, similar with Pokemon, and I promise this is not a whole thing on Pokemon, but if you buy and you hold, most times you're going to just, I want to say 99.99% of times, you're going to be able to make more with that investment eventually when you sell, as opposed to, oh, if I can buy here and sell here and I'll buy on the dip. It's consistently, I've never seen anyone consistently time the market. It just, I don't think it can be done. I've seen my friend Dan do it a couple of times, but he hasn't done it consistently. It's people that can do that consistently, I don't think they can. People that can beat the market or outperform the market, which usually gets like, S&P 500, something gets like maybe 9% a year, 10% a year. Most of the people that can do that, they actually work for Warren Buffett. Like he scooped them up and said, all right, I'm going to pay you this, and this much, work for me. And they do. Maybe some guys in Motley Fool, I think they've been able to do it. Just for me, the stocks that I think and how I invest is similar to the way ARK Capital or ARK, they invest. Go with disruptive companies. Companies that are changing the game. Illumina. Or I'll start with CRISPR. CRISPR is not a stock that I own, but I do think it's a very good stock. CRISPR is something where it's able to change your DNA. There's a company called Illumina which can read it, and Illumina can take your DNA and through whatever DNA sequencing and read it and find out there's something wrong here. There's something that this could be a problem in the future. And CRISPR will be like, well, we could fix that. So CRISPR, I don't know how it originally started, but I don't know if it's legal in the US, but you could take your baby's DNA, its genes, like if you have a fetus inside you and you do a DNA sequencer thingy with CRISPR, and you could make sure that baby is tall and they have blue eyes and they have dark hair and you could do straight teeth, whatever it is that you want, you could do that. I don't know how much that costs, but CRISPR has the ability to do that. And why I chose to invest in Illumina, just the company that could read it. They don't do any DNA sequencing. They just do reading and some testing. Why I chose them over CRISPR, again, I think CRISPR is a great company, but I chose Illumina because it's about data collection. And anyone that's really been in the tech sphere, anyone that's really kind of has been in investments in finance world, or even not even for finance, or just in tech, data collection is the new king is cash, cash is king. That's what people want. That's what you get. Like the reason Facebook makes so much money is because, okay, yeah, it's got, I don't know how many hundreds of millions, probably a billion people by now on there 24/7 and, gets ad revenue. But data collection is something that you get, like we automatically, every single app nowadays, you have to click agree to having your contacts and your pictures and everything, because it's data collection that it sells to other companies, and it just has that, and they could use that with their algorithm some weird way to say, oh, he likes, he's buying a lot of diapers because it's pregnant, whatever. They'll, someone's, whatever it is, they have shirts, they have deodorant, whatever you mention, they're going to sell to other companies so they can sell it to you. So data collection on a genetic level is insane. Illumina right now, and again, I'm not a financial expert. I don't have my Series 7, 67 license. I don't have any type of degree in that. I do work in finance. I do own two businesses, one of which is actually risk analysis in getting to see business owners and seeing like what type of rate can they afford as far as loan payments, and can they make money with the money, and it's really all about that. So that is what I do. Again, I'm not a professional I'm not a stockbroker, so this is just what I'm doing. And what I bought a lot of that Illumina because it is something that collects data. And yeah, CRISPR can change your DNA, but they have the data. They could, Facebook, Amazon, everyone sells data. Eventually, Illumina is probably going to sell that too. I don't think they have yet. They have it. To my knowledge, they're not selling it. I don't think anyone could even monopolize that or try to monetize it in any way. Speaking of monopolizing, Illumina was about to merge with another company a few months ago, and the government stopped it. Like, no, you own too much of this market. Illumina owns about 70% of the DNA data sequencing, genetic reading market already. It's a fantastic company. Q1, I think they still posted a profit. Q2, they might not, but again, that's something that I've invested in. Next up is Square. Square is something that, why I chose Square over PayPal. Again, I use PayPal and Venmo more than I use the Cash App and Square. PayPal has Venmo and Square has Cash App. And the reason why is because one of my businesses, my second business, is in Pokemon. It is in buying and selling Pokemon, and through eBay, the cards, it's the option, you have PayPal, you have PayPal credit. And for someone that, let's say you have a bank account, let's just go, from top to bottom here. You have a bank account, but let's just say you don't qualify for a loan that you want for whatever it is, whether it's a business or whether it's an auto loan or whether it's just personal finance, you want to do something with it or build credit. If you have less than like 700 credit and you don't have even a long history of it, they're not going to approve you. They're not. In 2017, I got out of the military late 2016, 2017, I went to school, and I had a part-time job while I was going to school just to try to, live off savings and do whatever. Military paid for school, but I still had other bills. And I tried to get a VA loan to buy a house, but they said, like, okay, your credit's really not there. I just paid cash for everything because I was just taught to be responsible with my money. It's like, okay, if you don't have the cash for it, you can't afford to buy it. Like, don't do that. And because I have seen people take out tens of thousands of dollars on credit cards and to just be in debt, and they're buying like nothing. They're buying clothes and they're buying other stuff. It's like, oh my God, what the fudge? And that just scared the poop out of me. So I never did it. My credit, because of lack of history, was like 500 something. It wasn't good. Thankfully, I ran into this girl, Teresa, who was just a wizard at fixing it. That's what she does. She fixes people's credit. It's great. And what happened was that I couldn't qualify for a VA home loan. I couldn't qualify for any type of loan because I had no credit. So, all right, applying for credit cards. And during the meantime, after that first semester in school and I got a job at this bank, I was thinking like, okay, I can make more money doing this than I can. I was going for x-ray technician. That was my plan, get out of school, be x-ray technician. But, after the military, I was like, I'm going to do this. Started my own company underneath the umbrella of the company I was working for. Great agreements. And I started to make a lot of money. And even with me, grossing, the first year I didn't gross that much. In 2017, I was only in business for half a year, maybe like 40, 50 grand. The second year I was in business, 2018, I grossed over $200,000. Still could not get a loan. I still could not be able to get them to give me $5,000. They gave me a secured credit card for like $200 that I had to put in. I had to give them $200 so they could give it to me in a credit. It was ridiculous. So with the Pokemon, as I was getting into it, I'm buying things, and I had a PayPal, and eventually PayPal says like, apply for a PayPal credit card. I was like, probably not going to get it, but they gave it to me because they saw the amounts I was going in there and out of there, and they're just like, hey, we're doing that. And I'm like, wow, this is great. And PayPal does loans, and I'm getting back to the stock right now. I'm sorry, that went off a long-winded thing. PayPal, they do loans, and Venmo, I don't know if you can do loans through them, but you don't really need a bank. Like I couldn't. The reason why I'm using those because not because I don't have a bank account. Like I do. I have a couple, but they're helping me when the Citibank was not. And Square does that as well through their Cash App, but they go a couple of steps beyond that. Square does the same thing with, well, not only have they helped people with PPP loans, for the SBA, they've done that with EIDL loans through the SBA. PayPal, to my knowledge, hasn't done any of that. But Square, even if you don't have a bank account, that's fine. They'll give you a routing and an account number. They'll give you a card. They'll give you loans. As long as they see that the money is going through there, that data, that they have that in real time. They don't need to ask for bank statements. They don't need to pull credit. Every time you apply for something, credit card, a loan, they pull your credit and it goes down. And they don't do that. They just, based on what if you apply, you say like, hey, what can I qualify for? They just go through the data of your sales, what's in there on an average daily basis. And that's what I do for business owners, but they do it for anyone with the app. And they do that for free, and then they give you money and they say, all right, this is what the payments are, this is what the interest will be. And they're pretty much doing what I do. I take business owners, because I had a sympathy towards them, that if they use their credit cards, they took credit cards out and maxed them out to buy equipment for payroll for their business, and their credit goes down, and these banks won't touch them. That's what I did. I say like, hey, you run a good business, I'll give you money. I'll send it out. I know other people, they'll give you money. And then we could work out something, on a payment schedule. And Square does that, but Square doesn't need bank statements. Square and Cash App, they do that just boom, 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 boom through the app. And I know PayPal does it as well. And PayPal's not a bad company to get. Again, I use it more than the Cash App. But the reason why I bought Square and their Cash App as opposed to PayPal and their Venmo is because the user base, again, PayPal did it first, but the user base is going this way. Square's user base this last quarter has surpassed PayPal's as far as Cash App goes. So there's more active users on Cash App than there are on Venmo. It's growing. It's growing at a faster rate than PayPal is, and they offer more. You can buy fractional shares of stocks. You can buy Bitcoin with it, something that PayPal does not offer. And I don't think PayPal will or Venmo will give you that account and routing number the same way that Cash App does. Cash App is doing that. They're going above and beyond for their people. CEO Jack Dorsey is amazing. He goes to run Twitter, does a great job. He leaves, they let him go. Every time he leaves a company, he takes Twitter, does a great job. He moves on, they let him go. Whatever it is, Twitter stock hold goes down. It's not good. But every time he comes back, it goes up. He is a very good CEO. People are ridiculously dumb if they are trying to get rid of him for whatever reason. And he's taking, because he doesn't idolize Elon Musk. He takes a lot of Elon Musk cues, because Elon Musk was something that he worked on PayPal. He had the idea of saying, hey, let's get rid of these big banks. Let's get rid of these hard credit pulls that destroy people's credit, make it harder to get financing. And then, he wound up selling it and going to SpaceX and Tesla. But Jack Dorsey, CEO of, got a message. All right, anyway, of Twitter and Square, he's doing everything that Elon Musk wanted to do. And he's doing it in fantastic fashion. So I was going up, they're helping people. At the end of the day, you want to be on the right side of history. I've done SBA loans as well. I've done PPP and EIDL. You don't make a cent on it. We do it out of the goodness of their hearts, and that Citibank's not doing that. PayPal's not doing that. Square's doing that. Square's doing that with a Cash App, and believe me, they're not making money off it, and they're just doing it because they know that if they help someone out when other people won't, they have a customer for life. They have someone that's not going to leave, and every single year that app grows in ways that I didn't think you'd be able to buy Bitcoin. I thought Coinbase was the only place to buy Bitcoin. You can do that on Square now. It's insane. Do fractional shares. Like if you want to buy Tesla, it's another one I'm about to go over. You could do that with a fractional share. If you don't have $800 right now to buy a stock, $200 you can buy a fraction of it. It's great. Speaking of Tesla, speaking of CEOs, Elon Musk, this is what I have. 72% of my portfolio is in that. Maybe a little more right now. Basically, you are not supposed to keep all your eggs in one basket. You are what Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, says is like, well, no, he had one stock mostly. Warren Buffett actually, for the most part, he had 3 or 4 stocks. That's it. That's all he had, and he was saying like, why do I do that? Because I believe in these, and you could really only know a company so well until he got too big, and he had to buy companies instead of stocks. But he did come up with something remarkable. He says that picture, a stockbroker, someone that's investing in stocks, and himself as a batter up at bat playing baseball. And if you have a batter up at bat playing baseball, and low and inside, or low in the strike zone close to you, if that's your hot button, if that's your zone where you're able to hit, you have a 400 batting average. If you're able to hit that ball 4 times out of 10 and it's a hit, it's a fantastic batting average. It's insane. But the handicap with the batter is that if you have 2 strikes on you, if it's not in your hot zone, if it's over here, if it's more towards the outside but still strike, you have to swing. And so you're limited. Maybe your batting average over there is only 220. So it's over there. You don't want to swing, but you have to. And your average goes down. But he says like that if you know a company, if you know what you're good at, you know what to look for, then you could swing. You don't have a count. You don't have a strike zone. That's your hot box. You could swing at that all day, and that's how he becomes really good at it. But most analysts and investors will tell you, diversify. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Buy the VOO, which tracks the S&P 500. Buy SPY, it's another thing that tracks the S&P 500. Buy ETFs, buy mutual funds, something that diversifies. Because if one thing goes down, it doesn't really matter. A couple things go down, doesn't really matter because you're diversified in 50 different companies. I myself I do not have the mental space to research 50 different companies. I researched Square, Illumina, and VOO, which I had up until the other day, where I sold it to buy more Tesla. Tesla, up until this morning, made up 72% of my portfolio because they are innovative, they are disruptive. So they innovate by vertical integration. Vertical integration means that they produce the batteries, they produce the microchip, they produce the computers, the software, everything on that. They don't have to go out to 100 different other companies like Ford and Chrysler and BMW do, any of these other car companies, the internal combustion engine or ICE vehicle companies that they do. Tesla is innovative. They use electric vehicles, batteries. They are disruptive because electric vehicles like 4% of the market, but that's a grow. Like eventually, you are not going to see internal combustion engines anymore. It's just going to be electric vehicles. I think the UK already said that by the time 2030 comes around, they want every new car to be made to be electric. I don't think that's feasible. I don't think that's possible. I don't think they will do that. Their heart's in the right place because you want to be able to not take carbon out of the ground, put it in oil and put it into a car and just put it into the atmosphere. You don't want to do that. You don't want to contribute to more global warming. And I get it, a lot of people, they might not even think global warming is a thing. And we could agree to disagree on that. Regardless of what you want, the world is changing and they're realizing that the whole EPA and everyone, in the US anyway, they want you to realize that clean and renewable energy is what eventually we're going to shift to. In order to help the planet, that's what we need. We need solar power and we need windmills and everything. And Tesla, right up there with solar. So they're using the power of electricity, batteries. They don't harm the environment with these cars. If you want a truck, like trucks are awesome. Pickup trucks are great. But maybe you felt a certain type of way about it because you're pumping so much CO2 into the atmosphere. Now with the Cybertruck, in a couple of years, you won't have to. Either way, like I said, they're innovative, they're disruptive, and they are doing so many different things at once. Not only is it the electric vehicle market with just normal sedans and cars, but with sports cars, with pickup trucks. They're about to have a freaking semi come out in a few years. I think the Cybertruck and then semi and then the Roadster, that's the order it's going to be in. But I buy Tesla every chance I can. I buy Tesla stock every chance I can, every new piece of money I get. And again, I own two businesses. If I wanted to, I could have a 2-bedroom apartment. I could have a house by now. I could, but I don't need that. The best thing to do, the best advice I could give, not even for stocks, but just to live within your means. Because like I know a couple of people now through my contacts in finance that they live out in Dix Hills, a very rich area on Long Island. They live out Riverhead, another rich area on Long Island. They have these crazy $1 million houses because they could afford it because they're making $400,000 a year, and now they're not. They pay like $40,000 a year in property taxes. They are paying they have a couple of cars that they're paying $700 a month for, plus the insurance, plus, and they don't have money coming in. And it is, I've experienced it before and kind of right now as well, where you have, if you don't know how you're going to cover your bills, that is a horrendous, horrible feeling to have. You do not want to have that feeling. If you live within your means, you don't have that problem. I live for under like $6 a day, and I'm in New York. I live, and not including rent, I live just by, all right, eggs, bread, protein shakes, vitamins. I have some meat in there. I get to fish sometimes, but for the most part, I live very, very cheaply, very, very well within my means. One, because again, I give money to business owners. That's my main bread and butter. Businesses are closed because of the pandemic. I am not getting money right now. I do not have any income. So I'm just trying to be creative with Pokemon and with videos like this, trying to monetize in any way that I can. And Tesla is just something that in the future, just my opinion, it's all right. People, they want stocks that are going to grow 10x in 10 years. I think Tesla will grow 20x in 10 years. Stock price going from $8,000 to, $800 to $15,000. Easy. That's just me. I won't sell before then. The goal is to not sell ever. The goal is to eventually, when I die, have everything sold off and donated to charity, Best Friends Animal Society. I love animals. That's just what the goal is. The goal is to never have to sell. But again, I could get in, a house, a 2-bedroom apartment, even a 1-bedroom, something that's my own. I am renting a small room. That's a boiler room back there. Like that. This wall. Like this is not a big room. I'm doing it to live within my means. I live with one of my best friends, and that's his kid is one of my best friends now as well. That's why I do it, to save money. And again, for anyone that lives in New York, specifically Long Island, even a 1-bedroom, you're going to pay like $1,200, $1,500 a month. I'm not paying that because I'm in a small ass room with one of my best friends. But Tesla is the other thing that I go all in at. I go all in. There's a company called Fastly, which is a DDoS network. Computer company. They help with edge computing. Again, I'm not 100% sure what they do. Tech's not my thing. I'm trying to learn how to code, but that's like a 10x company. And I sold my VOO, something that is Warren Buffett considers the safest thing to do. He tells investors, like, if you're not sure what you're doing, if it's you just want to get your feet wet, just buy the VOO. And you could buy that and you'll get about 8 to 10% a year return. Not only they have a dividend, but you also, historically it goes up. Historically, that's what the VOO does, because it tracks the S&P. That's what it does. If you want to be safe, by all means do that. Just what I'm doing. I think Tesla is going to be huge. It already is huge. It's already $150 billion market cap. I think it's going to be $1 trillion company, not just because of the electric vehicles, but because of solar as well. Solar is something that everybody's sleeping on. Solar is something right now that does not, it makes up, I don't even think 1% of its revenue. But because right now you have California, which again is following this the whole world's going to turn green eventually. California has this law that every new house that has to be built has to have solar panels, has to have some type of renewable energy. What does Tesla have? They have solar panels. If you have a house and your roof does not need work, the solar panels are actually not worth it at that time. It is not cost effective to do that. But if you have a new house, or if you're going to get a new roof anyway, solar panels are worth it. They will make you money. There's actually a subscription service where you could subscribe to them, but the subscription service that it costs is less than the amount that it'll make you. Like if you, let's say what this subscription service is, and it's like $40 a month to subscribe to that solar panel, it'll make you more than that. if you're in a sunny area, like especially California. So that's something that everyone's sleeping on, and everyone that gets a new solar roof, 40% of those people get Powerwalls, another Tesla product. I don't know the margins on them specifically, probably 30-40% margins. And again, the whole country's going to follow suit. They have Tesla auto insurance, which rolled out in I think December of last year. Just in California, they're testing it out there. But if you have a Tesla which has full self-driving, autonomous driving, I didn't even go over robo-taxis yet, you're going to have a car company that it's safer already. Even with just a Tesla, if you just have the safety features on, it is already safer than every other car out there. You will have an accident for, I think, one accident every 1.7 million miles or 1.9 million miles. If you have it with auto drive, or I'm sorry, no, that was like 2.4 million miles. If you have it with full self-driving on, there's only one accident like 3.6 million miles. Whereas if you're driving, by normal, it's like one accident every million miles driven, just driving. So it's already the safest vehicle. And Tesla insurance, instead of paying, let's say $200 for, a month for Geico, you pay $180 a month for Tesla insurance, because what do other companies use as underwriting for other car companies like Geico and State Farm and Progressive? And Progressive, they will hire a fleet of lawyers to sue against you, to say no, it was his fault, he has to pay, so they don't have to pay. But Tesla will be like, okay, they have cameras on their cars. They have 8 different cameras on their cars. They know exactly what was happening. They know how you drive, and they will be able to say oh, I can quote you a price of insurance, and it's going to be cheaper. Other companies, the only thing that they know is that, oh, he had an accident on this date, and an accident on this date, and maybe he has a ticket. Like that. That's all they know. That's all they have for underwriting. But Tesla knows how you drive, and they will price accordingly. If you're a good driver, you will get a lower interest rate. Sometimes there's a case where Allstate or whatever, they'll say all right, if you buy, or if you have 2 cars and a house, you get house insurance, bundle them all together, it might be cheaper. But if you're an investor, you know that Tesla and Elon Musk specifically, has a lot of fanboys. Even if it was Geico has at $200 and you had to pay $210 for Tesla, they'll pay $210 for Tesla because it's Tesla. It is like Louis Vuitton for white girls. People will pay for it just because it's Tesla, and I don't think it's a bad thing. That's just what people like. Does a lighter from the dollar store that work just as well as a Louis Vuitton lighter that costs $100? Yeah, they work the same. Louis Vuitton. Someone will pay $100 for a Louis Vuitton lighter because that's what it is. People pay more for Tesla, even though they don't have to. Tesla has a superior product, better prices, and people love Elon Musk. They love him. They love the company. And you're going to have the autonomous driving eventually. Even if it's not solved in 5 years, Tesla's going to have it. They have, Thank you. They have 3.2 billion miles recorded, driven for the self-driving. And I think Waymo has 10 million. Again, 10 million versus 3 billion. Tesla's winning that. Tesla is winning that battle. No, they're winning the battle on batteries. Battery Investor Day is going to be in a few weeks. Probably by June by this point. It's been a whole fiasco. They're going to have the autonomous driving. They have everything. While other companies are going to be having to spend billions of dollars to try to convert to electric cars and losing money while doing so, the lead is just going to be ridiculous. It's insane. That's why I'm putting almost everything I own into it. Stimulus check, which I'm surprised I freaking got one, going to Tesla. I'm going to buy another stock for that. And I don't have a huge position in it. I only have maybe 22 shares. I started buying at 700. I bought on the dip, and I think the average cost basis now is 653 for me. Average cost per share. But that's just what I'm doing. Sorry, this came from a long video. I promise the other ones won't be as long. I love you. I'll talk to you all later. Please comment, subscribe, share, just to grow. The same way Rand Paul wants to grow the Republican Party, let's grow the Tesla Party. Any comments or fact check me on anything that I might have misrepresented, let me know. Love you guys.